The Steel type is the best defensive typing in all of Pokemon, with 10 resistances, 1 immunity, and only 3 weaknesses. So what would happen if it's the third most physically defensive Pokemon in existence and slapped together with hundreds of its pals? Well, something like this. This is Pokemon Infinite Fusion, the fan game with over 175,000 different Pokemon combinations, and we're here today to see if we can beat hardcore randomized Nuzlocke using only Steelix fusions. That means if Pokemon fans is considered dead, our level caps can be our next leader's ace, no items can be used in battle, and we'll be playing on set mode. Make sure you like and subscribe, otherwise next time you turn off the lights, you'll see this looking back at you. Also, just so you know, a literal brick wall is number 2, and whatever this thing is number 1. Also, a shout out to Alex for requesting this run like a million times. It was genuinely so much fun to play. Keep them coming in the comments down below and on streams when we do them, and I'll make sure to add it to the list. Okay, so I didn't realize my game wasn't recording until after I got to Voridon City. So as always when we do these runs, I use the magic boost to give myself candies, repels, as well as the Asia Midas for exploration. When I did this, I randomized my starters, and the options were Lopunny, Probopass, and Ariados. I figured a Probopass would probably make an awesome match, but this is the internet, damn it, and I had to see a sexy Steelix, and okay. Anywho, after meeting a few new friends, it's time for us to face off against Rando. But first we fuse a Laren, and look at this awesome sprite. I love that the gems from the Mega Steelix are like swirling around this guy. When battling against Rando, his first Pokemon, a Duppet, gets taken down in a few rock throws after he lowers our defense with Screech significantly. Next, his Area Pass comes out, but other than Infestation and Absorb, he can't really do anything to me, so after a bunch of back and forth, he goes down without much of a problem. Making our way over to Pewter City, we encounter an Omastar and a Togetic. Before we face off against Brock, we fuse Omastar, and I love the Rock and Helix design. It's like he's coming out of his shell. Brock firmly believes that Rock beats Steel, but apparently somebody hasn't even told Brock that Paper beats Rock, and he sends out a Sandron, which is, oh my gosh, so adorable. We missed our first Hydro Pump, as the second one knocks him down and was sturdy. Then we follow up with a Bite for the KO. Cranapoke is his next Pokemon, and Thunderfang does minimal damage, so figuring out this thing is psychic, we finish it off in 2 Hydro Pumps for our first badge. En route to Mount Moon, we find ourselves a Victory Bell, and run into Nurse Joy, who's with the Geodude whose dying wishes to be fused with the Steelix. Brock rolls in to stop this injustice towards rocks, and says he'll make sure he finds a nice rock Pokemon to fuse with. We leave and get healed up at the Pokemon Center, grabbing Nazmoral, and this guy keeps on trying to assist to us that it's a Magikarp. Anyways, we also get a Mankey inside of Mount Moon, and then fusing Victory Bell, we get this bigger Victory Bell. Next up is Azumarill, and I love the Fairy Steel combination, but this guy seems a little nervous, or maybe he has to poop. Once we fight our way through Mount Moon, we find out the Team Rocket is trying to find a way to fuse 3 Pokemon together, the villains. They make this guy who loves rocks more than Brock battle us, to buy them some time, and holy crap, Dark Slash needs a Shadow the Hedgehog sprite. We take him down in 1, and the awesome power of our alloy breaks their fusion machine as well, and Team Rocket retreats to parts unknown. Before taking on Rando again on Nugget Bridge, we find a Slowbro on Route 4. Fusing it, we find out what happens when Sheldon on the Mega Slowbro gets hungry. Rando confronts us under the moonlight of Nugget Bridge, kisses one of his Pokeballs, and tosses it into battle. Typhlosion is his first Pokemon. Omolix is ours. After a decent shot with Ember, Hydro Pump gets it down in 1. His starter is next, and we set up rocks. A Nightshade and a Spark put us pretty low, and we need to switch. We send in our Bell, resisting a Spark. After taking a good hit, we put him to sleep, but he wakes up right away. After training Simmons, he goes back for another snooze, and I swap into Slowbro. Hoping his poison, not bug, I go for a confusion, and a crit basically does nothing. We just start spraying him with water while he nightshades us, and luckily we win. Magnix is up next, and a return luckily takes it down, and wow, Shadow Flame is so cool. I'm so impressed by the sprite work. I forget his Ghost though, and we switch into Steeron. Hex has a good amount of damage, but a Rock Tomb finishes off the match. On our way to Bill's house, we encounter a Probopass. Bill realizes after seeing our team, the fusing with Rhydon was a horrible idea, so we help him unfuse so we can go find a Steelix. Our reward, boat tickets, something a rock can't even do. Missy's our next opponent. After seeing our snake, she tells us how beautiful she is, and I think she might be coming on to us. Darklery comes out, and I feel like I've seen a lot of Darkrai fusions when I do randomizers, but anywho, 2 Thunderfangs take it out in short order. Manloon is such a happy balloon, but 1 Fang takes him down, earning us our second badge. While making our way over to our bow party, we find a new friend and fuse our Ninetales for this very big Ninetales. Rando finds us on the SSN wearing a fake mustache and speaking French. He rips off the fake mustache, revealing it's been him all along, but we already knew that, and he sends out Rados. After testing out this thing's typing, we set up some stealth rocks and just start trading back and forth. We swap into Steeron while he keeps on spamming Ancient Power and finally getting an Omni boost. At least we have a super effective move in Ice Fang, so after some back and forth, we finally take the big bird down. Giratang's out next, and where are my legendaries? And why do they all have Ancient Power? This one at least has the decency to go down quickly. His starter comes out, and I swap into Bunny to avoid the Nightshade, and like 2 Fire Fangs take him down. Purbach is his final Pokemon, and we get hit way lower than I anticipated. I need to swap into Ninelix and 2 flamethrowers. Take him down. For our third gym badge, we need to take on Surge and his electric types. He tells us horrifying war stories. His Pokemon must be really grizzled and intimidating. His first Pokemon is Ryran, and I'm not gonna lie, this guy's adorable. We spam return through both of his potions, eventually getting the KO, but we do get Paralyzed and Static, which isn't ideal. Umbrom is next, and okay, this thing is packing a big seat. It smacks us well below half, activating our berry, and a Thunderbolt almost KOs us, but we fight through, scoring another KO with our bunny. His final Pokemon Sideshoe comes out, and I love this thing honestly, but we need to swap. Victory Bell misses a few sleep powders before eventually landing one. But once it's asleep, we can't honestly do anything to it, so we swap into Steeril. As it wakes up, we hit him with 2 Aqua Tails, ending the battle. But we got way lower than I wanted. 3 down, 5 to go. While making our way over to Lavender Town, we find some new friends, and honestly, I forgot about this shiny Downblade. I'm really disappointed I never used him. For our next battle with Rando, we fuse Clefable, and Clefix is god tier. I love how many Clefairy sprites take inspiration from that one random anime episode of Mount Moon. Rando's in Pokemon Tower, dressed up like a priest. He rips off his collar, challenging us to a battle. If he wanted to fight, all he had to do was ask. He unironically sends out a Dig Bone, which does pretty decent damage to us, but 1 Moonblast and he's gone. After setting up rocks, we try to put Area Pass to sleep, but apparently he's an insomniac, so we need to swap. After swapping into Ninelix, we take him out with a flamethrower. 19 he comes out, who just looks like a Widow-Oz. We really risk it for the content, as a Dragon Rage knocks us to 39 HP, but I stay in and get lucky with the paralysis. But after he heals up, we gotta switch. Steeril comes out and a Play Rough takes the type down. Darka is number 3 for Darkrai, gets 1 shot. We hear a commotion as Mr. Fuji is being interrogated by Team Rocket on the other end of the room. He has something they want, so they take him up to the top of Pokemon Tower, and we mind our own business. On our way to Celadon, we grab ourselves a Staryu and a Chinchou. Erica is outside her gym, taking the sweet smell of the runoff. When we tell her what we've seen, she rushes into action, letting us know that Team Rocket's in the sewers and must be stopped. After making our way through the sewers and into their base, we find Giovanni, who's already beaten Erica, and now it's up to us to take him down. Pidzard's his first Pokemon, and after taking huge damage with a Flame Burst and setting up the rocks, we need out. Ninelix comes out getting a Flash Fire Boost, and I set up a nasty plot. A Dragon Breath takes him down into the red, and he uses the potion to heal back up. 2 more hits, and we take him down. Solavie is the next Pokemon, and this is what happens when you put Flubber into a Jello mold. It keeps on spamming Pain Split, which is super annoying, especially because it's normal, and so it's not taking any of the damage. But what's even more annoying, we take a Future Sight attack, but we take it down with us in the red. Pidzard comes back out, but after failing to get the KO, we need to switch. Omalix bites him, ending Team Rocket's plans for this sewer. This gym sure is great. It's full of sexy women. It certainly is. And they're all very impressed with my team for some reason. We make our way over to Erica, and it's time to challenge her for our 4th badge. Rose Lotion is amazing. Oh my gosh. As we set up a nasty plot as well as a confusion, Erica potions up and we take it down. Cube Growth is haunting, and now it's a ghost, so cool beans. Then this lady has the audacity to challenge me with a Steelix fusion? Rainbow badge acquired. In Pokemon Tower, we grab Infernape, and instead of Genkan, we fight this Poliking. Holy crap. This thing is a beefy boy, but it also can't do anything to me, so it goes down in a few turns. Mr. Fuji gave Team Rocket plans to something called a Master Ball. Not sure what it is, but we'll probably find out later. We take this flute and play it to impress this girl and her pet bear, but the pet bear is actually a gorilla. Now it's time for us to face off against Koga. He heard we caught his daughter's pet gorilla, and he is none too pleased. He sends out Mabak, who's cool, but he's down in 1. And so is Typhbell, who is the silliest little pepper I've ever seen. Arter's up 4th, and I think he's tripping or something, but after healing up, and despite me spamming Thunderfang on something that's obviously not a fish, he swaps into Crochamp. I throw some dirty water in his face, and I swip into Ninelix. 2 flamethrowers take him down, and after a few more rounds, we get our 5th badge. While working our way through the bike path, we find ourselves a Ledicarp. After cleaning up Silpho and escorting every employee to safety, Rando comes up to us dressed like an old lady, grabbing our shoulder, begging for help, before throwing off the Moo, ditching the blue wig, and declaring his intent to beat us up. What the hell's wrong with this guy? Okay, this Growlsprout is a nuisance for some reason, but a Mudshot takes him down. And Electring is so cool. He's like the Hisuian form, but electric. I love him. I go ahead and send out Stigron, and apparently I forgot to highlight when he evolved, but look how cool he is, right? This is even better. But anyways, after some trades, we shift into our bunny, who barely manages to take this thing down. Area Pass slaps us with a zap cannon into the red. We switched into 9 licks and KO him. Oh my gosh. Come here. This takes so long. It is so long. This big guy is so big, so bold, so dead. And Cormime looks like he's like 11 feet tall with this sprite, but we managed to take this NBA star down. And now Rando is willing to help us against Giovanni. When Giovanni throws these two guys out, I knew we were in for a fun one. I start setting up the minimize to avoid the constant earthquakes and blizzard. Then get frozen basically right away. So we weather that storm. I honestly kind of let Rando's team take care of things, and I'm not gonna lie, he's not doing very well. After a combination of Toxic and Rando's dudes, we go ahead and take Giovanni down. Getting ready to take on Sabrina, we go ahead and fuse our Butterfree from the game corner into Butterlix, and look at this silly guy. Sabrina has psychic powers. She knew what was coming, but she also knew she couldn't stop it. Hunter hits us for pretty decent damage with 2 Shadow Balls, but 2 Bug Buzzes. Take it out. Now I know this guy isn't hip mine, but he's a hip champ. And we play a little too rough with him and take him out. Ew comes out. And it shouldn't be so tough on themselves because they're very cute. 2 crouches. Miyuki comes up next, and after a lot of back and forth, we need to switch into 9 licks, who's able to take him down, earning us our 6th badge. Before we face off against Blaine, we fuse with a Starmie, and this is not what's in the calculator, but oh my god, this is so beautiful. Our next match is against Blaine, who uses Fire-type Pokemon, which isn't great for our big hard boys. Slugmeleon, who is really psyched to see our jewels, but he's less psyched to be OHKO'd with a Surf. Togrion does huge damage to us, and we need to switch into 9 licks to set up a nasty plot, and the Confuse Ray. But after all that work, it has Flash Fire, so we spam Confuse Ray until it switches out into Charcon, and I send them both flying. Togeron comes back out, and I don't really have a good option here. He can't hit me, but I can't hit him, and Charizard gets sacrificed as well. We do this dance for like an eternity, until eventually it punches itself in the face enough times to go down. Team Rocket's trying to get a free ride from this guy, but he won't help them unless they have a bus pass, so they steal the boat instead. And we follow them, because there's nothing better to do. After befriending this ghost, we go into Mount Ember, where we see Giovanni's captured all 3 legendary birds, fusing them together into a very big bird, maybe even bigger than our snakes. Let's find out. Zabukuno is a huge pain in the butt, but spread moves definitely help. Seagron resists or takes neutral damage from everything that it can do, so we use a few Rock Slides before swapping in the 9 licks. Flamethrower doesn't quite KO Zapdos since it used Charge, and now we're in trouble. Knowing whoever I'll send in is probably going to die, I stay in, take out Moltres, and just see how far I can get. And I get my answer. Starlix comes out next to avenge his comrade, but Steel doesn't resist Electric Dum-Dum. Clefix will do better, I think, to myself, as I don't even do 10%. I do manage to stick it through, though, and take the big bird down, securing victory. Giovanni throws all his toys onto the ground and goes home, and we follow him because he owes us a badge. Before our final battle, we need to rebuild our team. First thing we do is go ahead and fuse Togekiss into this majestic creature. After that, we fuse with the Dusclops, and this thing is what the thing under your bed is afraid of. Finally, we fuse with the Gyarados for this happy guy. Now it's time for us to battle for our final badge. We've been there to stop Giovanni at every turn. Done job is wonderful. After we manage to get 2 Dragon Dances off, we proceed to OHKO all of his Pokemon. But shout out to literally all of these guys. They were all wicked cool sprites. With our 8th badge in hand, it's time for us to make our way to the Pokemon League. A man wearing a police uniform says he's here to check our badges. After revealing that his badge was made of candy, we discover it's actually Rando, and our rival battle begins. Lit uses his first Pokemon, and he's just so happy to see us, and it burns us with Inferno, making our attacks basically useless. Then I realized it's Ghost Dragon, not Fire Dragon, so an Ice Fang does better. Once it goes down, Mike Wazowski comes out to play, knocking us into the red. So we send in our own eyeball to punch his into the next dimension. Typhus is what you think the spider in the corner of your shower looks like. And this thing is a freaking monster. But we're finally able to take it down after he does some pretty serious damage to our team. Okay, excuse me, Magnetus, I'm the Steel Snake around these parts. We swap into Steel after taking some decent damage, but we manage to knock it down to its sturdy, and another hit takes it down. Area Pass does some serious damage and paralyzes us, forcing us to swap into our last healthy Pokemon. After some back and forth, we eventually take him down with some Moonblasts. Gloopalm is high as heck. After a Toxic and 2 hits, the monkey goes down, and we're ready for the Pokemon League. Now let's take a look at our final team. First up is Butterlix, with Bug Buzz, Psychic, Toxic, and Quiver Dance. Clefix, with Toxic, Minimize, Moonblast, and Stealth Rock. Steeril, with Play Rough, Superpower, Earthquake, and Crunch. Dustlix, with Toxic, Confuse Ray, Thunder Punch, and Crunch. Garrelix, with Aqua Tail, Dragon Dance, Crunch, and Earthquake. And finally, Stegron, with Heavy Slam, Ice Fang, Crunch, and Earthquake. Lorelei is our first challenger. She sends out a Milross. She spends the first few turns trying to set up, and then trying to sheer cold us, excuse you, before swapping into Hydro Pump while we set up a few Quiver Dances. Once we're stacked up on a few dances, we take out this majestic creature. Up next is Q-Swine, and this thing has a tank on its back, but one Psychic takes it out. Poliwrath, Smoodle, and Bellster all go down in one, and we're onto Bruno. Bruno sends out a Mewchan, and this thing rules, but we do the same thing, setting up a few Quiver Dances, while he wastes his time protecting. One Bug Buzz takes him down, and Vaporkin goes down too. This pre-Gen 9 Annihilate stands no chance, and neither does this one. And finally, Mantata goes down, and Butterlix is a monster. Agatha's spooky ghouls are up next, and we plan to do the same thing, but fire is my one weakness. Literally, this thing rules. We swap into Garrelix, and after one dance, an Aqua Tail takes him down, swapping into Dustlix because it's the only thing scarier than a Dusttang. We set up the poison and crunch it down to about half. Agatha switches into Dusknair, and after healing up twice, she swaps the tongue back in two, take him down. Girassire is hilarious, but now it's poisoned, and we do get Wicked Low here, so we swap into Steeril, and a crunch takes her final 3 Pokemon down. One person left. Lance sends out this adorable Dragonish, and we set up 3 Quiver Dances and Oko this guy. Garlet just woke up from a nap, only to kick another one. We all know how this goes. Kikagon is honestly a really cool sprite, but after getting healed up once, he just goes down as well. Last Pokemon goes down in one shot, and it's time for us to face off against Rando. Rando is at the back of the chamber, hanging up a photo of himself, standing at the back of the chamber. He says something about his dream coming true, and now it's time to battle. He sends out Vaporing, and my heart skips a beat because I thought it was my Vapor King from the Eevee video. We set up 3 Quiver Dances as he punches himself in the face, and after using 2 full restores, we take this bear down. Oh my gosh, Whisma is beautiful. Buzz Buzz. Darkrai makes, I think, 5 Darkrai fusions this run, but Buzz Buzz. Rotom is amazing. I gotta do a Rotom run. He's an ultrasound machine. He manages to hold on and get healed up a few times, but ultimately the hospital's gonna need to buy a replacement. Klintuck is amazing, but he goes down in a couple hits, leaving only Area Pass. We go back and forth for a while since he resists all my moves, but I made this monster for a reason, and that reason was to solo the Pokemon League. And 4 out of 5 ain't bad. We take Rando down, become champion, and that is how I beat a hardcore randomized Nuzlocke using only Steelix fusions. Anyways, catch you in the next fusion video. See ya.